For the creation investigation in the course's quest, I'm going to demonstrate how to load content into the It's Learning learning management system. My courses or course shells have already been created by the IT department at Forsyth County Schools. I'm going to go into one of my course shells that does not have a lot of content in it. I'm inside of the Introduction to Digital Technology course. This is a shell that doesn't have a lot of content because it only has one student in it, and I've only had him in class for about 3 weeks. So over on the left you can see the course, and there is one folder created called NFHS Introduction to Digital Technology. I'm going to click on that, and that's the individual class I'm looking at right now. Right now there's only a few folders. I've got Unit 9, 11, 12, and the final exam folder. When I click on the actual folder, it brings me into a spot where I can load content into the shell. I'm going to click on the Add Element to Folder button, and this is going to allow me to add a couple of different types of content. I can add resources, activities, or ready-to-use content from my library. I'm going to start out on the resources section. In the resources, I can add a folder for organization. I can add a file, a link, a note, a page, a picture with description, or I can add SCORM or AICC link. I'm going to show you how to add a folder by clicking on Add Folder icon. Go ahead and give the folder a name. We call this Temp for Demo. I can give it a description if I choose to. By default, the folder is going to be active. So as soon as I click on Save, my students would be able, if they were logged on, to see the content. So I'm going to click on Save. And we can tell that my folder has been added over here on the left. I'm going to click on the folder. Now I can add additional content to my folder. I'm going to click on Add Elements to Folder. I can add, as I said before, a file or other activities. I'll click on Add a File to demonstrate how to do that. First thing we're going to do is we're going to give it a title. I'm going to call this Accent by Driver because that's the name of the file I'm going to load for the students. I would click on Browse, which allows me to browse my computer. And here's, come on, catch up. And I have uploaded my file right here. And again, by default, it is going to be active. The students will be able to see it. I can give it a description if I choose to. I can also link learning objectives to the file. I'm going to just link IDT4. And I'm going to click Save. Now my file has been uploaded into my Temp for Demo folder, and it is active, so that means the students can see it if they're logged in. Let's add another element to the folder. This time I'm going to add an assignment. Over in my activities, I can add assignment, add conference, custom activity, I can add discussion board. I can also add surveys and tests. So I'm going to click on Add Assignment. I'm going to use the same file, Accident by Age of Driver worksheet. I can add some directions. Please complete the worksheet and submit for grading. I can add a deadline. I'm going to make this due on the 15th. And I am going to allow them to submit after the deadline. It does mark it as being late for me so that I can tell whether I choose or not to take off points is up to me, but I can tell it's late, it flags it. I can make it mandatory, and again, it's active by default. I will upload a file. I will browse my computer for the file and click Open and Save. And you can see the file has been added. I can turn on plagiarism control so I can tell if the students are copying from each other or the internet. And I'm going to assess, make this worksheet worth 100 points. I can again attach my learning objectives and save. The difference between a file and an assignment is, even though these happen to be identical, is how the student submits it. A file, the students can only download. A assignment, the students can download and then they can re-upload once they've completed, and then I can grade. Add element to folder. We can add a test. A lot of times with my virtual students, I will actually use the test option for submitting worksheets. That way the computer will actually do the grading for me and the students get that immediate feedback. I can give some directions. Please complete. I can add my learning objectives, deadline, assessment, and yes, it's mandatory. Now I'm ready to add questions to my assessment. I can do an either or, which is like a true false, yes or no. I can do multiple choice, multiple responses, short answer, open answer. I can let them do select from a list of questions or fill in the blank. I can also make it interactive with matching. I can make them put stuff in a particular order or do a hotspot over top of a picture. All right. And that by default is not active. I would actually have to make it active for the student to see it. So that's a couple ways that we can add content. We can also copy content from other courses. So I'm just going to switch to another course that I have a lot of content in, which is my year-long course. And now I can select some folders that I want to copy. So I'm going to come up here, Action, Copy To, and I will copy it to that course I was demoing for you. And I had selected 2 folders, and it takes just a moment. Of course, the more content you're copying, the longer it takes to actually copy over. And I can choose to actually copy the answers in any submissions, which is pretty handy if you were doing a discussion board. If you only have a couple students in your course and you want to copy a discussion board, you may want to keep the discussions that the last class added, just so that there's a little bit more feedback and things to read. And this is still copying over. But you can have an entire course set up, and when you get ready to go to the course for the following year, you can just copy the entire course. So I need to switch back to the course I was demoing in. And you can see now that it did add folders 1 and 2 to my course. Another feature that's pretty cool about It's Learning is the planner. And I'm going to switch to a different course to show you the planner. I'll go to one of my virtual courses. There's a little bit more stuff in it. There we go. The planner allows us to establish units. We can go ahead and make a outline. This is what my students have to complete for the week. There's a deadline set. I can link it to learning objectives. I can show the resources and also the activities for the student. And this is what they would see on their dashboard, is whatever's going on for the week. Another thing that I can do as I get ready to copy from course to course, as I move from year to year or semester to semester, is I can go ahead and select the lessons, and I can copy the entire planner. And when I copy the planner, I can clear the dates so they don't exist, but everything else copies. The lesson outline, the linked objectives, the resources, the activities, and the folders those activities in will copy over as well. So I don't actually have to copy the individual folders. Also, when I'm adding items to my activities, it does allow me to search my own library, and it will show me, I can search by objective, and it will show me all my files that I have in my library. And you can see how it does, it's a pop-up window so you're not seeing it, but it will show me all my files that I have. Very, very easy to work with once you get used to how its learning operates. And that's how to add content into its learning. Thank you.